So welcome. So what I was going to say was this. If you listen to your ego self without engaging it, it is very easy to let go of. And here's an example of how you do it. I just sitting in the room, because I work over this other, so it's like I've got these two houses I switch between. And sitting in my bedroom just for a little break, I could hear my ego voice say, "Really? You on YouTube? Are you crazy? Do you know how old you are? You don't really believe this stuff. You believe this stuff? What's everybody in Memphis gonna say? You don't really believe this stuff. You're gonna look like some crazy old broad. You're nuts to be doing this. Are you sure you want to do it?" And I'm just sitting there going, wow. But I'm not engaging. That's where the power comes from. You're siding with God. I'm just listening. You can listen to your ego say whatever vicious things or whatever attack thoughts, and you don't really believe it. Haven't you been a long time student attacking my progress, attacking everything? And I'm going, wow, afraid, aren't you? It's okay. It's okay. I'm just not interested in what you've got to say. You don't have to engage it. You don't have to make it mind you. You don't have to fix it. You don't have to do anything. You just have to say, "Oh, I hear the fear. You're trying to tempt me into fear, and I'm not going to be tempted." I do believe it. I am a work in progress. I am on YouTube. Too late. I'm not interested. I've given those thoughts all the meaning they have for me. And it's time for me to do what I said I'd do when I came here. And that's live and breathe A Course in Miracles. It's not this. It's not the Course in Miracles to everybody. It's not their lifeline. It is mine. It is mine. You find your path. All paths lead to God. All paths lead to God. But for me, I found quite young, I think I was 28 or something, A Course in Miracles, and I've been having miracles ever since. And the miracle is the removal of fear. And what was that but just tons of fear? Tons of fear. And I said, I'm just listening to it. I don't have to react. I don't even have to respond. I can just listen and say, yeah, no thanks. Not interested. You're not hooking me in again. What is temptation but the wish to make my fear real? That's the definition of temptation. I want to make this world, this seeming world, real. And then I want to defend it. Then I want to justify it. And then I want to say, well, it's because I'm from Memphis, or it's because Mama said this and Daddy said that. And we are constantly justifying. Listen to your mind. Be willing just to sit and let it vomit all over you. It has no effect. It has zero effect on you. Less than zero. Only when you engage in it, agree with it, or try to fix it, rearrange it, however you look at it, does it have any seeming power. And even then it doesn't have any power. I'm giving it power. I'm not going to give it power. The goal of A Course in Miracles is simply to listen and point out the fear to the Holy Spirit. That is making me afraid. And then Spirit says, yeah, well, we can remove that. Because Spirit cannot see what's making us afraid. Because we made fear. If I made the fear, and we all have fear. Don't pretend you don't have fear. If you're in a body and you think you're separate from God and you think you're separate from everybody, you're in a fearful state. So I'm in fear all the time. I'm not pretending that I'm not. It's not like there's a fear state and a God state and I'm somewhere in between deciding. I am in my fearful state deciding for God. And the more I decide for God, the more I remember that this fearful state doesn't exist at all. It's not even there. So listening to it cannot make you afraid. Agreeing with it makes you afraid. That's entirely different. So listen and be willing to dispel the fear. It doesn't matter what anybody thinks. It doesn't matter what you think. It doesn't matter about my accent or what my experiences have been. It only matters that I am willing to hear the fear and not agree with the fear, to dispel the fear by simply choosing again. I want peace. I want peace above all else. I want peace and only peace. If I want only peace, then there is nothing my fearful mind can say to me to change my mind. Stay focused on what you want. What's your motivation for doing A Course in Miracles? A Course in Miracles is my quick, direct way to God. It is my path. Find your path. If it's not A Course in Miracles, find something that is. But it's an easy course. It says you don't have to believe it. You don't have to accept it. You don't have to welcome it. It says none of this will matter. None of this. Anything I think about the truth will not matter. I may actively resist it. I am just being asked to use the ideas. That can't be any easier than that. I'm not going to engage the ego. I'm going to simply look at it. I'm going to watch it. I'm going to listen to those fearful thoughts. And then remain focused that my goal is God. My goal is peace. My goal is not to be on YouTube. My goal is to offer it to everyone, for those who are still seeking. But my goal and my job for me is to do exactly what the Course in Miracles says, and that is to heal my own mind first. I cannot heal anyone else until I heal myself first. But healing my own mind also means, because there's only one mind, that I'm healing other people's minds as well. So every time I ask for a corrected perception, every time I ask for a miracle, I am asking for a miracle for someone else too, for thousands of somebodies. It says we're saving ourselves thousands of years of pain and misery. This is the celestial speed up. We are going quickly to God. And this is going to be mainstream, this kind of thinking. It's already getting there. That we are all connected. That there can be no mistakes. That the only thing that's stopping us, from knowing who we are, is our own fear. But we do have a personal job here. It says we wanted specialness, so Spirit says you're going to have specialness. You actually believe your name is Joan Goss, that you're from Memphis and you live up here in Connecticut. Here's your special function. Well, what is it, Holy Spirit? I'm giving it to you right now. Here it is. Heal every thought you have about Connecticut, about your past, about you being a body. Heal your thoughts about your life. Take it very personally, and you will be healing the world. Because the world is nothing but a reflection of your mind. It's nothing but a reflection of who you think you are. So the Course reminds us that we look first within, and we're going within, and we're choosing which, remember, we're not in between. We're going to be in our fearful mindset, or we're going to be in a state of love. When you choose love, you can only hear love. That's all you can see. That's all you can recognize. Because love, real love, God's love, automatically overlooks personalities and idiosyncrasies, anything. It overlooks the whole dream and goes over the dream and into your heart that resonates with God, so that I can only see the light in you. I'm not going to see who I think you are. I'm going to see who you are. That's different. You choose that, and you realize, oh my God, I really do love. I've experienced that once or twice. That's all. But I would like to return to that. That looking around and loving everybody I see, and it shocked me. It shocked me. And one of the times I experienced it, the children were quite young, and I was going out to collect them off the school bus. And I went out there, and as they got off and they crossed in front of the school bus, I knew then I could hear, because you're going to hear the ego say, well, if that woman took put her foot off the brake and ran over your children right in front of you, and I immediately responded with, they'd be perfectly fine. This is a dream. Killed them right in front of me. They'd be perfectly fine. Because this, I'm starting to recognize this is a dream. So move gently. Spirit moves you into your natural state, which is a state of true love. And as I looked at everyone on the bus, I realized I love them with the exact intensity, even more so, more purity than my own children. I love them the same as my own children. And I got to the gal driving the bus and I said, my God, I love her with the same pure intensity. It's really true. We are all one. And only love is real. Only love is real. But it seems like there are other things going on. It seems like there's a lot of fear, anger, upset, grievances, loss, lack, all of that. It seems that way. Those are all different forms of fear, and we're just being asked to look at it. Anything you believe, that bears looking at. Don't hide it. If you hide it, you keep it. If you hide it, you keep it. I'm going to hide the way I really feel about a family member. I'm going to hide that. It's okay. I'm fine. Thanks for asking. I'm fine. Yeah, we're fine. It's all good. All good. But I'm really going, oh my God, I hope that person doesn't call me. That's what I'm really thinking. But by hiding it, I keep it. I keep it. I keep the pain. I'm not showing the Holy Spirit the pain. I'm keeping that pain. The only reason I there's motivation underneath that. So there must be a reason I want to keep that pain. So what's the reason that I want to keep that pain? I want to make her or him, as well as me, pay. I'm not through beating myself up over what happened. That's the only reason. Because I believe in retribution. I believe that I have to work my way back to God. What if you don't have to? What if you don't have to? You don't have to read this whole book. I would recommend it because I find it wildly helpful, but you don't have to. When I was in Memphis taking classes from Brother Earl, who was a great teacher, Earl Purdy, I didn't read the Course in Miracles. I would read a paragraph here and there, but I didn't read that whole book. For years I didn't read it. I did do the lessons. But I was having miracles and conversations with God immediately because that was my goal. That was my purpose. I was motivated by the misery in my life. And I was miserable for no reason. I looked like I had a picture-perfect marriage and blah, blah. But I couldn't find any peace. Nothing but chaos in my mind. I could not find God. So when I found A Course in Miracles, I knew I had found something really deep, really profound. The direct line to God. So I used it. And it sounds silly and it sounds simple. But if you use it, it works. But you got to use it. You got to use it in those painful times. And you know what I'm talking about. Those dark nights of the soul, but you got to use it also when somebody just says something so unbelievably obnoxious to you, something so heinous, something so shocking, whatever it is, where you're just going, oh my God, if I only had a handgun. You know what I mean? I'm trying to manifest one right now. You know, all this madness that goes on in your head. If you turn immediately and say, I do not know what this means. I do not know what this means. I do not know what this means. Give me correct perception about this. You'll get it just like that. That will open up because now you're truly willing. So you practice in big ways when somebody says something horrible or something seemingly horrible happens, but you also practice in those little bitty ways that seem like it's, no big deal. No big deal. Those little ways. Like what? Well, like, I don't know, if you're really upset that you haven't gotten a manicure, that sounds so trite, that sounds so silly, that sounds so shallow. But if it's really upsetting you, it's as big as somebody coming up to you and saying something heinous. It's the same thing. A grievance is a grievance. The Holy Spirit does not weigh the grievance. Yeah, Joan over there has a bigger grievance. Let's heal her thought first before we go on to Shane, because he's doing all right. That's not how it works at all. If I'm upset because I really wanted a manicure and didn't get a manicure, and Shane's upset over seemingly something bigger, some crisis has happened in his life, God answers to relieve the pain. He doesn't evaluate the pain. All pain is pain. All pain is pain. We're the ones judging it. Have you ever sat with a group of friends or people you just met, and in the egoic world, we consider sharing our grievances part of who we are, and whoever has the biggest grievance, oh, you win. You're just so upset. My husband not only cheated on me, but he's done blah 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 blah. Oh yeah, you win. There's all that kind of competition in a way, right? Because the ego lives by comparison. The ego lives by comparison. So here's the thing. If the ego lives by comparison and you're not willing to compare, then you cannot judge. Because judgment comes from comparison. Comparison comes from your past that you've accepted as yours, where you took a thread from here and something from there and you've woven it together. Now you've got a yardstick with which to measure against everything else. So say my darling Dean drops dead of a heart attack. And say I'm starting to date again, and I'm going to compare everybody I even look across the room at to my darling Dean, because that's the yardstick. Not realizing that the yardstick is really my cross. My yardstick is my cross. I hang on it all the time, invisibly. I hang on my cross. Poor me. Poor me. Can't find anybody like Dean. So if you listen to your mind, I've been doing some listening lately. It's been fascinating. So I heard all that berating about going on YouTube and going out there and declaring that I'm a Course in Miracles student and teacher to the world. But I've also heard myself make comparisons, and it's been so helpful. See, these things aren't bad. You got to listen in order to learn. Oh, I'm comparing. Let's see, I think I've got this past, and I think I'm this age, and I think I'm from Memphis, and I think, so I've got my little yardstick that's really my cross that I'm secretly hanging on, right? And I'm comparing everything that everybody says, and I'm doing this, weighing and balancing whether or not I like them and what they said, and how they dress, and blah, 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 whatever the judgments. So I'm hearing that comparison, I'm going, my God, the yardstick's got to go. The past has got to go. It's not here. It's not now. It never was. You're just dragging it with you. Stop dragging your own cross around. That's what you're doing. You're dragging your own cross, and occasionally when you decide that you don't like something, you jump up on it and show your brother, look what you've done to me. And the Course in Miracles says the opposite is what you're supposed to be doing. Do not show your brother your crucifixion. Do not accuse him of hanging you on a cross, because you're doing it to make him feel guilty. There's always a reason. There's always a reason you're doing it. You're doing it for your specialness. I need some attention. Or, Dean, look what you did to me. Had I not married you, I wouldn't have had to live like this. So I'm climbing up on my cross. And I'm secretly putting one up for him, but it's his decision whether he joins me or not. It's his decision. I can't make him join me. That's his decision. But I'm doing it to torture myself because I think I'm separate from God and have to work real hard to get back to God because I think I'm unworthy. And if God made you worthy, who do you think you are declaring that you are not? You were already worthy. You were already awake in God. You were already at home. Quit delaying. Quit dragging your feet. Stop bringing your yardstick / cross with you. It has to go. You cannot cling to the old rugged cross anymore, Joan. You cannot do that anymore. Oh, that does slow down the process. Oh, I get it now. You mean I can just let it go? Yeah, let it go. You mean completely? Yeah, completely. Because my ego's always going, yeah, sure. Yes, but what about such and such? let go completely, that's when you remember, and you all but run down your path that's now lit up and easy to see. You know where you are, you know what you're supposed to do. This is a time for us to wake up. This is a time to heal your minds, because any time you are applying one truth thought, you are healing the mind of millions. That's beautiful. Healing the minds of millions. Not to mention the great relief in your mind. Y'all know what I'm talking about, right? I know you know what I'm talking about. It frees your mind completely, and that's when you realize, you mean I put myself in jail? I'm the jailer? I sentenced myself to jail, but I can set myself free by simply choosing to be free, and all the universe will come down and free me. That's when you're stepping into your free will. We think we have free will, but moving to California is not free will. It's changing the backdrop. There's nothing wrong with changing the backdrop. Nothing wrong with that. But that's not changing, waking from your dream. It's not healing your mind. The goal of everything is to heal your mind. If you move to California, it's to heal your mind. If I move somewhere, it's to heal my mind. If you come next Monday, it's to heal your mind. If you don't, it's to heal your mind. Everything becomes, I must heal my mind. Everything, that's the cause of everything, because that's the effect I want. So listening to your egoic mind is a quick way to go home too. You just point it out to Spirit, and as you let it go, you let it go, because the goal of the ego is to gather all these grievances, to keep them, and to use them against everybody else, and seemingly protect yourself from the scary attacks out there. So you're going to defend and attack and defend. And then ultimately die, because death is the answer. My death is the answer. If I could just die and be done with this. But the Course in Miracles says death is not the answer. You do not leave this world by death, but only by truth. That's how you leave this world, with truth. Because truth is the thing that sets you free. Then you can stay as long as you want to in this world, but you no longer see the fearful, upsetting world that you saw before. Why? Because you have forgiven yourself what you thought you saw. I have forgiven myself what I thought I saw out there. I've stopped attacking myself. I'm listening to the love that is me, that's part of me, and that's one with me. Because love is the answer. So if I leave this world by truth and only truth, then I need to be applying truth to my mind gently and lovingly, and remembering only truth. See, if I remember truth and I make it, that's my goal, I can lie in bed and say, today is the day I give to God. I will make no decisions by myself. I will decide only with the Holy Spirit, and God is in charge of my mind, my body, my tongue, and everything that I do. And when you do that, you automatically, your mind will automatically look toward the truth all the time. As you apply the whatever lesson you're on, or any truth from A Course in Miracles, or any truth anywhere, because truth is true, right? Then you will remember, because your goal has been set. My goal is set. I want to see only love. I want to see only love. And so the Spirit in me will look beyond personalities, beyond everything, and see that love is here and love is everywhere. But our purpose here is to heal our minds. That's the reason we came. Let go of specialness and heal our minds. Let go of specialness, which is another egoic thing. You're going to be on YouTube. You're teaching online now. How special is that? I'm going, and that is not my goal. I'm the teacher pointing the way. I'm also the student pointing the way, but your inner guide, you have an inner guide. He, she, it is your true teacher. The Holy Spirit within you is the teacher. The way shower is not the teacher. You ask constantly your higher self, the Holy Spirit within you. Ask constantly, what's going on? Give me correct perception about this. Give me correct perception about that. I could see peace instead of this. My goal is God. Decide for God for me, Holy Spirit. I'm never upset for the reason I think. I've given this all the meaning it has for me. All those lessons will come to your mind to help you heal your mind. Because of yourself, you can't do it. You know you can't do it. If you're in your ego mindset, you don't even want to do it. You think there's effort involved at first, but the more you practice, the more you realize, oh, this is becoming effortless. This is the normal way to think. The old way of thinking and having grievances is too hard. It's too much work. Because you know what we're doing? We're finding grievances and we're holding on to them, and then we're putting them in a grievance file cabinet in our mind that is our brain. And as soon as you hear somebody's name and you're going, pulling that file out, going, I forgot why I didn't. Oh, yeah, I remember now. We're doing it all the time. And that was in 1982, that I didn't like so-and-so because they said such and such. It's a madness, right? You can let go of that file cabinet. It's never benefited you. And that's what it comes down to. What benefits you? That's your real motivation. I want to be happy. I want peace. I'm not doing it to be a good person. I'm not good or bad. I'm doing it for peace. I'm doing it because I want to experience the love and peace of God. That's why I'm doing it. That's why we're doing YouTube. Spread the word. Everything is in your mind. And everything you need is also in your mind. But you got to clear out that mind. Truth is the reason we're here. To apply truth to our minds. You know, we talked about it a long time ago, and I remember Earl mentioned it. If you have a pail of water outside, after it rains, you know, all the sediment goes to the bottom. And there seems to be clear water, so you seem to be doing fine. Because other people who seem to be not doing so well have all this muck in their water, right? Using that as our mind. But as you pour more truth into that, it might kick up a lot of grievances you didn't know you were hiding, a lot of upset, but it can quickly be healed. How? With more truth, more pure water, because the sediment flows out and you're left with nothing but a pure pail of pure water. And that's the goal. Don't keep that sediment from your past. Don't be rolling around in the mud from your past. The holidays are around the corner, y'all. The holidays are around the corner. And you know what that is. That's a red alert, all sorts of red flags going off. I've got to revisit my past. Don't be afraid of your past. It did not happen. Whatever you think you thought happened, in truth, it really didn't. But you don't have to believe that, because I don't believe it. Nobody believes it. It seems that really happened. Take that seems to have happened to the Holy Spirit. This seems to have happened. I do not want to do this. I have real upset about this. Show me what to do. I'm willing to let it go. I'm willing to see it differently. I'm willing to let this upset go. As you let it go, you also at the same time simultaneously can ask Holy Spirit, and by the way, should I go? Should I go back to my hometown for Thanksgiving or Christmas? Should I go? And Spirit will tell you whether you should go or not. But as you let go of those grievances, you realize, oh, it doesn't matter whether I go or not. So you have no attachment. Because the goal is to loosen your attachment to everything you have attached yourself to. Because that's what we've done. Attached ourselves to this, that, and the other, and these opinions and this background. It's the same idea as the yardstick, but now it's got roots. Because I'm attached now. I have to do such and such. It's the way we've always done Christmas. I have to do it. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to revisit your past, but you can. The goal is to not care one way or the other, but to only love. It's the only love. You don't have to go with an attitude or without an attitude. You go only in love. And if at the 11th hour, here you are driving up and you're about to walk over the threshold of the house, remind yourself gently who walks with you and who is already there. And you will have a different kind of holiday. That's going to be completely different because you're not dragging all your grievances with you. You're not thinking, well, Aunt so-and-so is going to get blasted in about 2 hours from now, and you're not thinking, you know what I mean? You're not thinking all those old thoughts. You're seeing nothing but truth all the time, and you will be shocked how truth will come up to meet you. That Aunt so-and-so has been waiting for years to say, have you ever heard of a thing called A Course in Miracles? You'll be going, oh my God, I was so focused on you getting blasted in short order that I did not know that you, see, because you're focused. Remember, perception has to have a focus. So perception has a focus, and you've decided who that person is. And you've decided what they're going to say and do. Well, you can't hear anything else. You're not giving any room to anything else. So the quicker you let go of the idea of Aunt so-and-so or whoever, Uncle whoever, behaving in a certain way, doing a certain thing, the more you see the light in them, the more they will reflect that light right back at you in gratitude. Because you brought the light and reminded them that their minds are exactly like your minds. They're set up the same way. We're not different. We're the same. So if I can choose for peace, you're teaching everybody can choose for peace without saying it, because you're living it. And living A Course in Miracles is sublimely blissful, because then you know that you are literally being placed exactly where you're supposed to be placed, and you are seemingly running into people that you are exactly supposed to run into. And then you just hear things and you just simply know things. Meaning you can hear the ego mind be upset, and you can be the one to calm it. It doesn't matter that it doesn't sound like you, or it's not your ego saying that. Ultimately, there's one ego, and there's one spirit. Just one thing going on. So the egoic mindset is still yours to heal. So you'll be given thoughts that you don't necessarily recognize. And Spirit, and that's happened to me, where I said, I don't understand. And Spirit said, you don't have to. Give it to me. I said, oh, give it to you. That's your only job. I said, oh, that's my job. Just give me that thought. Forget the fact that I don't think that's me thinking that. Spirit, that's not relevant. Give me that thought. And I said, oh, of course. Let me give you that thought. Because then it's removed from my mind as well as somebody else's. That makes sense, right? It's nothing y'all don't know, right? Nothing y'all don't know already. Okay, so if we leave this world by truth, that means all the fear, all the guilt, and all the upset that we've pasted on top of this world will simply disappear. And the real world that we did not make, the real world that is here, God made for us. And we will see that world. And then the Course says, ultimately we'll join with that world and disappear into God. But that's too advanced for me right now, right? But we want to let everything be as it really is. To let everything be as it is means simply to not judge it. Don't compare it. Don't do anything. To let everything be exactly as it is means I'm no longer fearful. I'm no longer feeling guilty about anything. I'm going to just let it be. And this world falls away immediately. The guilt that we feel about everything came from us thinking we're separate from God. The fear about the fear comes, by the way, when we haven't decided what to do. fear, the Course in Miracles says, when you haven't decided one way or the other, you've got conflicting ideas in your mind, you become fearful. And if you really listen to your mind, that's obviously true. Now I'm afraid. Now I don't know what to think. Now I'm confused. The ego loves confusion because that's what it does best. Because it is a thought of chaos. So fear comes when you can't decide. But fear also comes when you've made a decision, but I don't really want to do that. Fear comes too. And it comes in the form of anger. Well, Mother, I'm here. I hope you're happy. Merry Christmas. Right? It comes in the form of anger and upset. So fear comes when we cannot make a decision. We don't know what's going on. We just decided for fear and chaos. Or it comes from doing something that we really, really do not want to do. All we have to do is ask the Holy Spirit, what would you have me do? And the answer is always going to be in our best interest. And not only ours, but in everybody's. Because if you're going to be grumpy at your mama's house, guess what? She really doesn't want you, probably, right? If you're going to come in like a holy terror, she's really hoping that you got sick and stayed in bed. Or praying fervently that you come in peace. See, you don't think that when you're the child. You know, my children come home at times, when they were in college for holidays, and one would be angry. And I said, you don't have to come. Y'all are free agents. You don't have to. I'm always glad to see you. But if you're not glad to be here, do us both a favor. Don't come. Good Lord. No rules. I don't have those rules. I freed all the children. You are all free to do whatever you want to. You don't ever have to come. It suits me just fine. Because you want to enjoy what you're doing. Because being in a state of joy is the goal. In any little way and in the bigger ways. So we act like Christmas is some big holiday or Thanksgiving is some big holiday, but every day is. When you start walking with God, you realize right here, right now, is the moment that I can let go and be with God. Why would I wait till Christmas Day? Well, that makes no sense. Why would you do that? Why would you wait till your birthday? Why would you wait till you finish the lessons? Don't finish the lessons. The goal of the lessons is to talk to God. Talk to God now. But applying the lessons does keep you aware of your fearful mind and how to release it. That's what's important about that. But talk to God now. God's talking to you now. Did you know that? God talks to you nonstop, calls to you lovingly day and night. Your mind never sleeps. Your mind never sleeps. So God calls to you day and night. And guess what? Your true self responds. You are in communication with your Creator all the time and you don't know it. I'd like to know it. But my fear thoughts are standing in the way. That's what's standing in the way. Just what I believe. I believe I'm separate. I believe I have to work hard to get back to God. I have to read the whole book at least 100 times. I have to do this, I have to do that. Whatever you've made up. And a lot of people come to A Course in Miracles thinking it's a course. They think it's a course. They take it like a college course, like a high school course. So they read it from beginning to end, and they have to do it a certain way. Now, there's nothing wrong with that as long as you're doing it. But a lot of people will put that judgment on it, and then they can't do it because they're not going to read it from the first page to the last. That's not going to happen. That's them sabotaging themselves. They have the answer, but they won't use the answer. Because it's got to look a certain way. I've got to do it a certain way. Don't be afraid to let go of that idea. It's not a college course. You're not being graded. You're not being judged. You can read it the way you want to. It does ask for you to do one lesson a day, preferably in order. The only hard and fast rule in A Course in Miracles is make no exceptions. Make no exceptions to applying the truth. So that if I see the light in you, then I must see the light in you and you and you and my children and my husband. I must see the light in everyone. If I think Alberto's special, then I have to think everybody's special. Right? He can't be my brother and nobody else. That is the definition of specialness. And you know what that means, the definition of specialness? Because you know what the ego says? Yeah, let's make Alberto your brother, nobody else. You know what that means? I want something from him. You're going to meet me here Wednesday or not, right? I want something. I want to get something from him. That's looking for that specialness, that getting. So that letting go of specialness and remembering that we are all one, that Christmas Day is every day. If you're looking for the Christmas spirit, you're walking around with it. You're walking around with it every day. Every day. Unaware that the power of the universe goes with you. That's deep. If you hear it, the power of the universe is within you every day, all throughout the night. Your power is in the way you think. Your thoughts have power. Your thoughts have power. And your thoughts, if you agree with the ego, cause you pain. Your thoughts cause you pain. It supports the idea of pain, but it causes you personal pain. Why would you do that? Check in with how you're feeling. How do I feel? Well, I feel okay. Well, that's not good enough for the Holy Son of God. Okay means not good. Pretty good is not good. I feel good is not good enough. Go for bliss. Go for joy. Ask Holy Spirit, the Spirit within you, that you were ready to experience that. I want to know what joy is. I want to experience joy. I'm willing. And I'm going to watch my mind for all things that bring up fear, upset, or some kind of block. A block to my joy. Now you can do that sitting home watching TV. I want to hear only joy. I want to hear from the television screen only love. And you can do that. You just start shopping for it, and it's going to reflect itself because that's your goal. So remembering to set the goal really is, I think, really important, because if you set the goal in the morning, then you will remember that your mind automatically gently corrects itself. You will remember throughout the day, as well as remembering your lessons. But your goal is joy. Why not? And why not now? Why not now? You know, we talked about this last week. How the Course in Miracles, in a couple of different little areas, it says, "Oh, Holy Son of God, why not now? Why wait? What are you waiting for? You were loved and beloved now. You need do nothing. That's who you are. That's the truth of who you are. So why not agree with that? Just for a moment, just for a minute. Let God love you. Let the love flow through you and surround you. Because as you allow it, God's joy comes with it. And it is tangible. You can feel it and you send it out. You can give it. When you receive, you can give. If you haven't received, you can't give. You're just hoping. Trust that God is here now. Play the trust card. And put faith in the trust that God is literally guiding your steps to your awakening, to your joy, to your bliss. Forget about the awakening. That's such a heavy thing. I don't want to make it so heavy. Every day you should have some joy. So that every day when you get up, you're going, I'm going to be shown joy today. Somewhere, somehow, that joy is coming. I do not know, because I don't know joy. I don't remember joy. Because that's just being honest. I do not remember. But I'm willing to experience joy today. And let that be your goal. Let that be our countdown to Christmas. That's what we really want. Right? So always ask for the experience of what you really want. And watch for anything that interferes. Not interested, not interested. Hey, old lady's going to be on YouTube. Not interested, not interested, not interested. I am not interested in anything that doesn't bring me peace and joy. So ask for the experience. Ask for the experience. It's here. It's already been given. It's here waiting for you to ask for it. Because I want to hear from y'all about that. I want to hear some testimonials here about you experience real joy. Real peace. Because I'm telling you, you can be walking around in the mall or doing something so mundane. You can be at the grocery store and you are in a state of peace or joy. There is no place you'd rather be. I can stand in line. I can stand in line for the next 40 years because I'm in a state of joy. You don't even think about what you're doing. Paris has gone out the window. We love Paris. We don't need Paris. We only need the joy of God. That makes sense, right? Okay. Y'all got any questions? Anything you want to talk about? We're so solemn tonight. Did I bore y'all to tears? Okay, good. Good. Oh, good. Oh, good. Because we can do this. Listen, this business of listening to the ego has been fascinating to me. I've just been listening lately more than it just happened. I didn't even mean to. But I can just hear all this. I'm going, wow, that's pretty abusive stuff. Thank you. Not interested. But it's fascinating. Don't engage in that egoic, crazy stuff. Don't talk to crazy. Right? Why would you talk to crazy? Don't do it. Don't do it. Because that crazy is going to jump off on you and you're going to be crazy too, right? Mm-hmm. Don't talk to crazy. Just say, oops, wrong station. WEGO, we're going to change the radio station to WGOD, right? We're going to change that radio station. Not interested in that weird stuff, that attack stuff. Not interested. Because we're going for the joy. So ask every morning, every night. You're going to have joy at night. Your mind never sleeps. Your mind never sleeps. It is in constant communication with God. Your real thoughts you think with God. I love that quote. Your real thoughts you think with God. So my real thoughts I think with God. These other body thoughts of what time is it and it's getting kind of late, should we close, and I think I'll get in the car and motor on home. Those are not my real thoughts. We want our real thoughts. And you know what? A Course in Miracles says you're entitled to your real thoughts. You're entitled to miracles. You're entitled to your real thoughts. All you have to do is ask. Ask for a miracle. Ask for one. It's the Holy Spirit's job to provide it for you. It's its job. I went through a short phase. It's the great tricksters. It's just hilarious. It's so stupid. But I was going, I've just asked Holy Spirit so much for correct perception. I'm just bugging it to death. No, it's its job. That's the only reason it was created. It was an answer, immediate answer. Once we thought of the idea of separation, the answer was given immediately to us. And that's the Holy Spirit's voice. We're supposed to ask. And it will answer. It is already answered. But it will answer on the level that you need it. You need it on this level? I told y'all about my recent job I got back in June. I said, I need a job. It appears that I need a job on this level. I think that I do, so I need one. The very next day I got one. Ask on whatever level you think you need it. But don't forget that God is in your mind. And you need to ask Holy Spirit for that experience of joy. The experience of it, of love. and let it flow through you. You're ready. You're ready or you wouldn't be in this class. You're ready or you wouldn't be listening to this. You're ready now. So let now be now. No need to wait. Because then you will realize what the holidays are all about. What every day is a holiday. What your life is supposed to be is blissfully easy. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. We've been told our whole lives. We're just not paying any attention. We've been told our whole lives, in one way or another, that none of this is real. Everything is here to scare us. But not really. Not when we realize we're doing it to us. It's not going to scare us. How could it scare someone who no longer believes in fear? We made fear. That's why God cannot remove it for us. We made it. It's like our pet toy. We love it. We protect our fear. We go to horror shows. Do y'all know there's more truth than ever before, and people are talking in terms of correcting their perception? I've just heard it everywhere lately, and then you know what I heard? I thought, where's the ego and all this, Holy Spirit? And then immediately after, there was a little blurb going, horror movies are hot commodity, hot deals this year. They've made $1 billion in horror movies. Isn't that hilarious? People love to be afraid. We love our fear. Love our fear. Let's let go of loving our fear. It has not served us. It has attacked us. It has prevented us from knowing the truth about ourselves. I'm willing to let go. Let go of loving my fear. That means I gotta let go, the yardstick that measures everything and compares everything, the yardstick of my past. My fear is always in the past. Have you ever noticed? It's where you can't quite get your hands on it. It's always in your past, or it's in your future. That's the best the ego can do. It's in your past, you can't do a thing about it, but hopefully it won't be that bad in the future. Always overlooking now. But if we're here now, we realize there is nothing to fear. There's only the idea of fear. So ask for joy. Set your intentions early in the morning, as soon as you wake up. Be clear. Say your intentions slowly and gently to yourself, and then you will naturally remember it throughout the day. Make it a